So trauma is stuck energy. Welcome to the Real Healing Institute. My name is Michelle Sinclair. I am a teacher of the Christ letters. So trauma being stuck energy. If you are in a trauma loop, so people can now, they'll talk about PTSD, they'll talk about this or that. What is it? But those thoughts associated with that thing, that experience coming back to you again and again and again and again. Or those thoughts being triggered by something that is happening, and then a repeated cycle of, here's this trauma that has come up for me again. And so what has actually happened is it has got stuck in your energy system, and our energy system is meant to flow. It is meant to, this is what we're meant to do. We are meant to have the divine love, the divine flow constantly flowing to us. But through fear and through rejection, we push away what is coming into us. And by this happening, by rejecting and these things, we keep these energies stuck and stagnant and on a repeated cycle. You might be in a thought loop about something. It could be about anything, but what is occurring is stuck, stagnant energy. So if you have had a thought loop that has been occurring for a long period of time, this is stuck, stagnant energy. It is not meant. It's this way because we're meant to heal it. It's this way because it's the hard thing to do, to heal it, right? So the harder the thing is for us to overcome, the more that we learn from it, the more strength, the more power that we gain from it once we have overcome that thing and healed it on the other side. Now, when you're in it, it can feel impossible. You could think, well, I'm not choosing this thought to come up, but essentially you are. By allowing it to be present when it does come up, you're choosing it because you're allowing it to cement into your mind, into those neural pathways in your brain, deeper and deeper and deeper. And it takes root. And then pretty soon it would just feel odd, if you went through a day and this trauma or this thought loop or this thing didn't occur, right? It's part of your life. And in some way, perhaps you enjoy it because it lets you know that you're still here, that, you're still you, or whatever it happens to be. I don't know what your thought loop is, so I can't really give you context as to what, the purpose of it could be. But here's what you do. So when you have this stuck, stagnant energy, then when that thought comes up, so when that trigger comes up, when that thing comes up, and then what is the automatic thought? What is the automatic thought that comes up? Like really, truly assess it. What is the automatic thought that comes up? Take that thought, put it up on a shelf. In fact, put the entire vision up on a shelf, slide something in front of it, and refuse to look at it. It has not helped you up until this point, correct? Right? Hasn't done anything for you. And we're going to change it. So we're going to change it into something that's better. So what would you, if you were your best friend, or if you were talking to your best friend, what would you tell them about that thought that you have about that thing? What advice would you give them? And if you were talking to your best friend and you said, okay, like what would something better, like what's something that actually makes you feel happy? What is something that you could think about that would make you feel better than that? What would you help them come up with? What would you say? What thought? And so what you're going to do then the next time that this stuck, stagnant energy comes up, because it's not moving you forward, right? It's creating zero momentum in your life. So next time it comes up, you're going to put that thought up on a shelf and you're going to be like, oh, hey, dude, thanks for showing up. You've been here for such a long time. I mean, obviously you're going to show up again. So thanks for showing up. And then you're going to put it on a shelf and slide something in front of it. And If it's something that actually needs to be dealt with, then you're going to set aside a time. Like, cool, okay, I have an appointment with my hypnotherapist in 3 weeks, so I'm going to bring it up then, because they're actually going to help me to eliminate it and eradicate it completely. Not going to just talk to my therapist and talk about it again and again and again and again and again for the next 1.5 to 3 years or 7 years or however long that takes. But you're actually going to set aside a time to eradicate it, to actually deal with it. So we're not ignoring it, but we're not dealing with it just by thought looping it. So we're just going to not think about it. So you're going to put something over to the side, you're going to slide something in front of it, and then what was the thought that you thought was better? What's the thing you're going to think about it? And then you're going to think about that. And I know it'll feel so fake at first when you start doing it. It'll feel fake, like, oh, I'm just doing this thing. Well, what you're just doing is rewiring your brain. You're literally changing your brain. You're literally changing the way that you think. That's what you're doing. So it doesn't matter how it feels, right? When you start doing anything, you start going to a new gym. Does it feel awkward when you very first go in there? Maybe. Till you get to know the equipment, right? It feels a little weird. This is the same thing. It just feels a little weird till you get used to it. But then, oh, the rewards that come from this are amazing, because what is it that would be more beneficial to think about? I don't know. Think about that, though. Think about that. And then all that time that you are saving, well, that energy is not stuck and stagnant, that trauma not stagnant there. You can be using it to propel your life forward, to move forward, to create new things, to get stuff done, start a new hobby that you think you haven't had the time for because you've just been so busy caught up in your head that you can't do anything except for think about the thoughts that are harming you. Now, if you notice, people who are depressed or have, anxiety and issues like this, it's because they don't have control of their mind, right? When you go out and there's something amazing happening going on, and you go to a comedian or this or that, you're uplifted. This is proving, even if you were depressed, you're not actually. Your brain is just temporarily distracted from that thing that you are depressed about. And so it's showing you you're not, it's not some genetic thing that you have to suffer with forever. It is literally showing you that when you gain control of your mind, you can feel however you want to feel at any given moment, at any given time. And so getting rid of these old patterns or these loops or these thought loops is so beneficial. Now, why do we have them? Because we allowed them at some point, because maybe we hoped something would happen, maybe we were resentful about something happening, maybe we were so angry or fearful or afraid, or we had to, think our life was going to be taken, and so we got put in fight or flight mode. But there could be a huge range of reasons why these things happen, but it doesn't matter why they happen. What matters is how we change it. And so when we can change this old stagnant energy, because here's the deal. Let's say you just imagine this, you have a watermelon worth of energy every day. That's it. You wake up, you get a watermelon. You wake up, you get a watermelon. Well, if you are using 60% of that watermelon to have some thought loop, or to think something that's harmful or negative or depleting of energy to you, then you're only using 40% to the positive. 40%. So what does that mean? In a year, you're only going to have 40% progress moving forward compared to the 100 that you could have if you would just release that stagnant, used up, stuck energy from your mind, from that thought loop process. You could create, man, what could you do with 60% more energy? You could do it. It's endless. It's limitless what you could do. It goes beyond your wildest dreams, what you could accomplish with that freed up energy that's just not stuck in a loop or in trauma anymore. Because let's say that you had it rough as a child. And so how many times do your parents pop into your head, your mom or dad or somebody, and how angry or resentful or whatever it is towards them? Or some type of thought associated with that, maybe a family member, or the traumas, the actual traumas that happened to you back then. Or maybe you were in the military and you had to do some kind of things and you didn't have control. You weren't in control. If you were, maybe you would have done things completely different. I bet that you would have. And you also didn't know what you were getting yourself into when you were that old. You were young when you went and you got in there. You didn't even know, and you were just doing what you thought was best and what you needed to do and what was cool at the time. And you were in survival mode, and you were with people who maybe were very similar to you, but even the people that you were hanging out with when you were there, they didn't have any say, any control of what actually goes down and what actually happens. You were being controlled by something. And so maybe there's traumas that are associated with that. And any time that these things come up and you feel a certain way, let's say that your body starts to tighten up or tense up, what happens when this is occurring is that you are pushing away the divine love that can be coming. But you know how you brought that on? It was a thought. It wasn't there, and then a thought came, and then it was there. So this is what I'm talking about, how we have to control our thoughts, control our mind. We literally need mind control. We actually have to gain mind control, because when we have control of our own mind, which is your free will, and maybe it does not seem that way when a trigger happens and automatically that thought comes up, but this is how you retrain your brain. This is how you retrain your mind. But the way that you retrain it is also through gaining understanding, the deeper understanding of the why behind it. Because when we understand things, right, when we don't understand things, we got all kinds of emotions and we just feel a certain way. But when we understand things, and we understand things in a different context perhaps than what we understood them before, then things change for us. When our perception changes, then these things change in our life. And so if you were to know that, hey, those things that you had to go through just allowed you to see that, man, that ain't the way, that's not the thing. And then maybe you can help other people realize, hey, that's not the way, that's not the thing. And maybe you can teach about this, like, hey, this was what occurred. We did this wrong. This needs to change. And maybe you can be the change maker, because these things happened for a reason, for you to learn, for you to grow, not just to traumatize you, not just to make you live a horrible life. Man, that's not the case at all. It happened for you, because everything happens for you. It happens for you. And because these things, even these terrible, those things happened for you, there is a reason behind it. Maybe to get you to love yourself more. Did you love yourself when you were in those situations? Did you accept yourself when these things were occurring? Maybe you didn't. Maybe this was to put you through these things to realize, like, man, had I loved and accepted myself, these things would have never happened. Maybe it was there to teach you to learn to grow, to be compassionate and caring, and to help others who were in a situation. Maybe it's your childhood, and maybe things were not good. Maybe there was all kinds of things that were occurring that you can then step in and you can help other little people, and you can see, hey man, we need to change the world, and you can be a world changer. You can change the world because you understand that the only reason why people are traumatized when they're younger is because those people who traumatized them were also traumatized. And it all stems from that. And so maybe you are going to be someone here who helps heal the trauma that's in the world, so that it doesn't get passed on to the little ones, so that they then don't have to pass it on to their little ones. Because this seems like the cycle, right? All we see is a mirror reflection of us in this world. And so when we are healed, then pretty soon all the people around us are also healed. This is what we are experiencing it. But when you get to that point and you're like, man, I'm totally healed, and then you just go out in the real world and you step out and you see, man, there's so many people out here that need to hear the truth. They need to be elevated by the spiritual evolution that's occurring. They need to see that the reason that their life is the way that their life is because they're still choosing it now. That these thoughts are planting seeds that are harming them, that are harmful to them. And they will come for harvest, because you reap as you sow. You harvest the vibration that you are. If you plant carrot seeds, you cannot expect to get beets. That ain't the way that it works. If you plant popcorn seeds, you can't expect to get beans. You get what you are. So if you are planting seeds of resentment, well, you are going to have way more things to be resentful for. And you are probably going to attract people into your life that will resent you. That vibration of resentment that you are playing will be very visible in many facets of your life. And if you are playing a chord of guilt, well, man, there's going to just be endless things that you could feel guilty about. And maybe people will even guilt you because you're playing that chord, and so you are attracting things that bring guilt into your life and make it present and known. Because you get what you are. And so when you change these things, so when you rewire your brain and you're like, man, I'm not gonna be the trauma. I'm not going to be it. I'm not going to allow it anymore. Then you start playing a different chord. You start playing a different vibration, a different frequency, and then you start attracting that into your life. But this is a process that didn't just happen in one day. I mean, the trauma, maybe that did. But the effects from it, these things go on, and we allow them to fester, and we allow ourselves to think about them, and they go on and on and on. And then the more that we think about them, we think, oh, well, this person, oh, well, that person, oh, well, these people have these problems. Just think about that statement. Even the fact that you're talking to people that got all kinds of problems and got all of this, and that you feel like you need to take it on and you need to talk about it, you are playing that vibration, that chord. You are telling that story, and it is as if you were telling it for yourself, because you are manifesting. You are the creator. You are causing creation to happen as you speak about these things that you say that you do not want. I recently encountered somebody that I hadn't seen him in a while, and I knew this, but I didn't really pay attention to it so much till I moved to Sedona. So here I'm living with my friend Alora, and we're just we're high vibing. I mean, we don't watch TV. We don't have any of these outside influences. If we're talking to people, it's because we're holding circle, or we're going out in the community and helping and healing people, and just going to go talk to people and literally go out in the streets and heal people. So we're not having to deal with these negative, sad stories that people like to tell. But I encountered this recently and thought, man, there was not one positive story that came out of this person's mouth the entire time that I was with them. And they're addicted to, it is a brain wiring, vibrational addiction issue to speak about these negative things. I don't know if it makes them feel better. I don't know if they think that they're showing sympathy to this situation, or these people that, they're telling me stories about people you don't even know and all these sad things. And it's like, dude, I don't want to hear it. That's not in my world. These things don't happen in my world, man, because I don't believe in them, and I don't give them my time, and I don't give them my energy, because I'm not creating that in this world. We're a collective. So what I am creating is creating for the bigger, is creating for the collective. And I'm not going to be a part of these old stories of these, detrimental things that have happened to people. And if you were to look back into history, you could see that when television started going on, television programming your mind, when these things started going on TV, and all of a sudden they start talking about having affairs and all these terrible, horrible things that happen to all the people, and all the detrimental things that happen everywhere, and and they're programming you constantly. And then we see these things in our world, and almost everybody experiences them in their life at some point or another, because they've created them, because they're in that vibration when they're watching that show, and they're damaging themselves just by exposing themselves to it. And then it's created, and then it's rampant in this world, and it's like, no, man, let's change this. We don't need to be a part of this. Let's do things that are uplifting. Let's think about things that actually upgrade us rather than downgrade us. Let's not watch shows that reintroduce the traumas that we're trying to heal, or that we've already healed. We don't need to. We don't need to recreate them. We don't need to take ourselves back and to rehash this out. So this is the difference between, going to a therapist. You're just talking about your problems. Whereas when you do hypnotherapy, especially if you're doing regression, they're taking you back. Yes, you are visiting that thing again, but what is happening is you're revisiting it, you're gaining a new perspective, and you're healing it all in one shot. And then when you come forward, you feel completely different about it. And that trauma is healed. It's gone. It's not there anymore. It's totally changed. This is why, if I was to say, sure, going and talking to somebody, sometimes all you got to do is talk to somebody and you feel better about something. Somebody gives you some advice. But very often people go and they re-traumatize themselves for years and years and years. They leave feeling worse than what they came, and they think they're doing themselves a service. But think about this. How do you feel? When you're around certain people, when you're talking about certain things, what is your energy like? Is it upgraded or is it downgraded? Pay attention to that. And when you go somewhere and you can leave and you feel upgraded, you know you've done the right thing. Just listen to your energy. When you hang out with certain people, do you feel upgraded? Do you feel downgraded? Pay attention to that. Your energy will tell you everything that you need to know about literally everything. How do you feel? How does it make you feel? And when you go off of a unhealed perspective that you have within yourself, if you are not healed, you will project this all over. You will put it on other people. You will think it's them. It's not them at all. It's you, man. But when you're healed and you put yourself in certain environments or certain situations, you will notice the energy. Has my energy depleted? That's not good. We don't want this. What was the conversation? What were we talking about? What was I thinking about during our conversation? Or was the conversation purely negative and it drug me down into the depths of hell? I don't want that. I don't want to allow that. And don't feel like you are obligated to hang out with certain people who are extremely negative and bring you down because they're your family or they're your longtime friend. No, if they're your friend or they're your family, then you should be able to speak to them about this honestly, openly, and tell them, hey man, every time that we have this conversation, it makes me feel this way, and it's not good for either of us. It's not lifting you up, it's not lifting me up, and like, let's together stop doing this. Because I want to keep being your friend, but I can't leave feeling energetically depleted. Like, it's not okay for me. It takes me time to recover, and I don't want to have to recover after having just a conversation with someone that I love. And so when you can have these conversations and they can be open and honest, then you will change things, because these people that are doing these things are typically totally unaware. They have absolutely no idea. They have no idea. Because they're just running their life off the old program that they've been running for their whole life. Many people are thoughtless about their life. They're not thoughtful. They might not care about their body. They might not care about their mind. They might not care about what content they consume. They don't care about any of these things because they don't know that they should care about those things, because nobody's ever told them that it matters. Maybe they've never tuned into their energy. Maybe they've never noticed how they feel when they talk about certain things, because they're just doing it all the time, and so it just feels like life, and they're not really tuned in. And so when they can be tuned in, then this can really change things for them. And if they then notice, or you then notice, that you have some type of thought loop associated with some kind of trauma, then you can think, hey man, you're right. You know what? This does deplete my energy. Man, I was feeling good till that popped in my mind, and then now I wasn't feeling so good. The thoughts that you think matter more than most things. In this world, they matter more than most things. And so when you can gain control of your thoughts, which I made that mental cleanse series just for you guys, to help you to get over the harmful emotions and the harmful thoughts, the healing the mother wound, the father wound, the anger, the resentment, the grief, the guilt, all the things. When you can heal these things, then this can really truly change things for you, because then you're not running around with those old programs, and then you've let go of that stagnant energy that is being used for nothing other than more of the same, of that old trauma loop that has been harmful and has been depleting your energy for possibly years, possibly your lifetime. Now, I'm not blaming you and saying you're doing something wrong. If you had a rough childhood, I get it. I understand. And so many have. I mean, as a hypnotherapist, that's who comes. So many of the people, 90% of the people that come have trauma from their childhood, maybe even more than that. So you are not alone in it. And no matter what, people will come and they'll be like, yeah, well, my problem's different. You know what? It's not, man. The amount of people that I've seen there, everybody, you're not alone. What you experience, other people, they've gone through it. They didn't experience it the same because they're not you, but they all healed from it. They all healed from it. There's nothing that cannot be healed. The subconscious mind is a tricky thing. It'll tell you, no, you're the exception to the rule, man. No, it can't happen to you. It'll tell you these things, but that's not true. That's not the truth. The truth is that we need to look at things through a different eye. When we had, Circle one night, We'll have, etheric guests that show up in our circle, and I will communicate with them. And there was one, and it was this angel covered with eyes, like the whole entire body, all the wings, all the everything is the eyes. And I was like, dude, this is weird looking. Like, you got to tell me what you are. What is this? And it said, I'm the angel of perspective. Which eye do you need to look at so that you can be looking at that situation through divine alignment? Because if you were looking at a situation and it is causing you to suffer, you are looking through the wrong eye. Because everything is happening for you, everything has happened for you to make you stronger, to make you better, to make you a teacher, to make you learn. I don't know what the reasons are, to make you more courageous, but there's always a reason why. And so all you need to do is shift and look through a different eye. Like the one of, oh, this did happen for me. Oh, well, I guess I gained this. And I gain this too, and I gain that too. And when you shift and you look at things through a different eye, it changes your perspective, and then the story changes. And then you'll notice that your environment changes, because you're no longer projecting that thing from the inside to the outside world, and so then you have different reflections that come back to you. Because the inside world is now different, and it will reflect in the outside world. This is how it happens. So I'm asking you guys here today, if there has been some stuck, stagnant trauma, some stuck, stagnant energy within you, that it is time to cut that loop. It is time to recognize it when it pops up and to love it. First of all, don't hate it, right? Because you've probably been shaming it and hating it, and every time it pops up, you get this whatever feeling around it. You don't want that. You don't want to play that vibration of it. So love it, because it loves you. It's trying to protect you. It doesn't want that thing to happen again, or whatever it is. It's just protecting you. So just sit with it for a moment and just love it. Like, thank you for showing me that this is not the right way. Thank you for showing me that I didn't love this. Thank you for showing me that this wasn't love, which is why it hurt me so bad and caused suffering. Thank you, I love you. And then notice how it will soften that energy. And after you've done that, then the next time that it pops up, put that thing up on a shelf, slide something in front of it, be like, hey, thanks for being here. And then think about the puppies or the bunnies or the kittens or the whatever it is that is going to bring you more energy and be more beneficial to you. This is the way. This is how we change and we gain control of our mind. I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in here today. If you would like to work with me, you can visit therealhealinginstitute.com. We also hold Christ Light Circles pretty regularly, although they're more sparse in June because we have so much traveling going on. But you can check those out and check out our schedule down there below as well. Love you all. Take care, and I will see you in the next one.